How's it going, everybody? Wayne here, and happy 4th of July. So on 2 July, I actually bought the last 3 things I needed to complete the entire 296 game library complete in box. And those were 3 manuals, V-Rally Edition 99. This box is in pretty beat up condition. Some poor guy paid $24.99 for this game. With most of the games I collect, I'm going to upgrade the boxes and get them all mint. But I think I'm going to leave this game with a trashy box. That way if anybody pulls it off the shelf, they'll see the garbage box and know that it's a garbage game. This is going to be the only box in my collection I won't upgrade. No, I still got the Maddens. South Park Rally and Deadly Art 64. So for the V-Rally Edition 99 and the South Park Rally manual, I was able to find those 2 manuals by themselves. But for Deadly Arts, I had to buy a sealed copy of the game just to get that last manual because I couldn't find the manual by itself. So I have to wait for all those games to come in, and I still have about 50 to cover. So hopefully I can get a jump on the next quest since I'm always getting busy, too busy to make these videos. So hopefully I can get a jump on the next quest since I still have 50 games to cover for the quest. But for now, we have 6 more games that we'll be adding to the collection. Let's check them out. And the first game we have up is Space Invaders. Space Invaders was developed by Z-Axis and published by Activision, releasing for the N64 in 1999. Space Invaders is another remake of an older game. The game feels exactly like the original. Your goal is to clear the screen of aliens that are constantly moving down towards you and earn as many points as possible. This version of the game added many cool power-ups you can get, such as shields, double shots, and time stops you can get by shooting down motherships that fly overhead. You can also get a weapon upgrade by shooting 4 of the same colored aliens. These power-ups give you weapons that blast in different directions after making contact with an alien. You can get vertical missiles that will shoot straight through a row of enemies, missiles that ricochet left to right taking out whatever's in their path, and missiles that branch out in multiple directions. The sound in the game is repetitive. The controls are good. You can use the stick or D-pad to control your ship. And the gameplay is challenging but fun. Space Invaders is a game worth checking out, even if you didn't like the older versions. Space Invaders is game number 247 for the collection, and it cost me $25 shipped, bringing our total up to $11,739 for the collection. The next game we're adding up to the collection is Spider-Man. Spider-Man was developed by Edge of Reality and published by Activision. It released for the N64 in 2000. Spider-Man is an action-adventure game based off the comic. When I first put in the game, I expected it to be bad, but I was surprised to find out this game is a pretty fun game. Spider-Man has all kinds of moves, from swinging on webs to wrapping up enemies in webs, throwing web balls at enemies, making a web shield, and punching and kicking. The controls are a little bit strange using the C buttons to attack. Also, climbing on walls can reverse the controls when moving from wall to wall. The gameplay is a lot of fun though, and you'll have to figure out puzzles and rescue hostages to advance. The graphics are decent, but they could have used some improvement. I recommend giving Spider-Man a chance if you've never played it before. It's a surprisingly fun game. Spider-Man is game number 248 for the collection, and it cost me $35 shipped, bringing our total up to $11,774 for the collection. Next up we have Clayfighters 63 1/3. Clayfighter 63 1/3 was developed and published by Interplay and released for the N64 in 1997. Like its big brother Sculptor's Cut, Clayfighter 63 1/3 is a parody fighting game. Starting off the game, you choose from one of 9 characters. As you beat the game, you can unlock 3 more characters based on the difficulty level you beat the game on. The main thing that makes this game so bad is the graphics. The characters look awful and blurry. The controls are also sluggish, making it hard to do moves at times. The game does offer some interesting combos though, which are pretty cool. For the most part, you probably want to stay away from the Clayfighter games on the 64. There are much better fighting games that are much cheaper than these games. Clayfighter 63 1/3 is game number 249 for the collection, and it cost me $42 shipped, bringing our total up to $11,816 for the collection. Next up on the list we have Top Gear Hyperbike. Top Gear Hyperbike was developed by Snowblind Studios and published by Kimco. It released for the N64 in 2000. Top Gear Hyperbike is a motorcycle racing game. The game has a lot to offer. Starting off, you'll choose a bike and a rider. You can change the color of the bike and rider to any color you want, which is pretty neat. However, once you get to racing, the graphics look below average. The physics in the game are also off. The best thing I found in the game was the trick attack mode. It was fun pulling off the stunts with easy to learn controls. The only frustrating part of doing the tricks was that you had to pull off 3 of the same stunts to move on to the next one. What made matters worse is the fact that some of the tricks needed a big ramp, so you'd have to drive halfway around the track to get to a ramp big enough. The game also has a track editor, which is nice. It's easy to use where you place points, and you can move the points to make ramps and turns. Top Gear Hyperbike is more expensive than other motorcycle racing games like Excitebike and Supercross, so I'd recommend grabbing a copy of those over this one. Top Gear Hyperbike is game number 250 for the collection, and it cost me $60 shipped, bringing our total up to $11,876 for the N64 library. Next up on the list is the original Mario Party. Mario Party was developed by Hudson Soft and published by Nintendo. It released for the N64 in 1999. Mario Party is a party game for the N64, and the last of the 3 Mario Party games that we have to cover. The goal of Mario Party is to collect the most stars. Just like every other Mario Party game, you run around a board buying stars. If you don't have enough coins, you can't buy the star. Along the way you run into traps that can take your stars or coins. Coins can be earned from landing on spaces or winning mini games. One thing this Mario Party game lacks is a practice mode for the mini games. You read the rules and jump right into the game. Practice mode was a nice addition in later Mario Party games. The mini games also have games that require you to rotate the stick as fast as you can. This is the game that put blisters on hands and broke controller sticks. Mario Party is a fun game, but I choose Mario Party 2 if I have friends over to play. Mario Party is game number 251 for the collection, and it cost me $85 shipped, bringing our total up to $11,961 for the collection. And last but not least is Earthworm Jim. Earthworm Jim was developed by Vice Interactive and published by Rockstar Games, releasing for the N64 in 1999. Earthworm Jim is a platforming game. The goal of the game is to explore Jim's own mind and find all of his marbles after going insane. You'll explore sections of his mind such as memories, happiness, fear, and fantasy. As you collect more marbles, more areas will be unlocked. Jim has a lot of moves he can do, such as duck and roll, helicopter through the air, whip enemies with his head, and he also has a whole host of weapons he can use along the way. There are a bunch of tasks you'll have to accomplish and puzzles you'll have to solve in each level. The graphics in the game are good and well detailed. The controls are good as well, but Jim runs awkwardly. The sound in the game is excellent, with lots of sound effects. However, the camera system is extremely annoying. You're often blocked from moving the camera due to walls being in the way. The worst time I had was on the final boss. She would come out of nowhere and trade places with you, dumping all your marbles. The final boss is a good example of a rage quit level. Overall, Earthworm Jim is a fun platformer, despite the bad camera system. I recommend giving it a shot if you're a fan of platforming games. Earthworm Jim is game number 252 for the collection, and it cost me $70 shipped, bringing our total up to $12,031 for the N64 Complete in Box Quest. Let's get these games on the shelf. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to subscribe. I'll be collecting the entire N64 library, complete in box, right here on the show. Also make sure to leave a thumbs up for Earthworm Jim. Until next time, I'm Wayne, and thanks for watching.